Once you log into Adobe Creative Cloud, create your account. At that point, you can start downloading the applications and installing them on your computer. So the first step is to install the Creative Cloud application, and that creates this little icon here. Then open up the application, and at this point you won't have anything installed. It'll give you the listing of all the applications that you have available to install on your computer. So this list right here, it tells me that I can install Acrobat, XD, Premiere Pro, Lightroom, and so forth. These are all of the applications that I have available through the Creative Cloud subscription. What I have installed on my computer already through the Creative Cloud subscription are Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Bridge, Character Animator, and Media Encoder. I can right-click and uninstall them or reinstall them. Once they're installed, it gives you the option to keep them all updated all the time, and that's the power of the annual subscription. Photoshop is a raster image-based program. If you want to edit images and add text and effects and so forth, this is the application to use. So I have an image that I took here. It was actually at a production in Germany. It's a raster graphic, and what does that mean? Well, when you zoom in on the image, you can start to see the pixels happening. It's a pixel-based application. These little squares are the pixels. They are all different colors. They comprise of the main image. So I can print this. It would look great in a small format. If I made this extremely large, you'd start to see the pixelation happening. So it depends on what the resolution of the image is. But if you're using images and you want to edit images and add effects to images and add layers, this is the application to use to do that. All of the Adobe applications have tools that are in a similar format. Now I can undock this set of tools from Photoshop, but these are my listing of tools, and all of the tools are fairly similar in these three applications. So once you learn one, you can use them. It's pretty standard in all of the applications within the Adobe suite. So I have the Move tool, I have the selection tools, I have the eyedropper to select different colors and paintbrushes and so forth. These are more specific to Photoshop as opposed to Illustrator. Now, what is Illustrator? Illustrator is an example of a vector-based program. So you can create vector graphics. The difference between that and a raster graphic, vector graphics are shapes that the computer actually calculates to give the presentation. So when you export this vector shape, you can enlarge it, and there is no loss of resolution. And I'm just going to zoom in here, give you an example. I can keep zooming in here. Notice that there is no pixelation happening. These are all shapes that are drawn on the computer. Zoom back out here. So I can create, using these two selection tools and direct selection tools, modify the shapes in my drawing. I can tweak it by the curves, by the handles right here. I can move these points, so I can actually manipulate the shape to create the overall drawing. That's the power of this vector-based graphic program, Illustrator. So I'll zoom out a little bit. So we have a raster graphic for Photoshop. So we have a vector-based program for designs and shapes and line to create illustrations. So how do you put them all together? Well, InDesign is the application, you can call that up here, that we use to place the graphics, whether it be the raster graphic or the vector shape together, including text and so forth. I'm going to create a new document by going up to New. Gives you the options of what you want the units to be. I'll choose inches. It tells me it's an 8.5, 11, vertical, half-inch margins. Just create. Here's my document. Notice that the guide marks indicate where my border on the document is. So I can go up here and I can place different types of graphics. So if I place an image here, it's a raster image. If I just clicked, this would insert the image. It would be extremely large. So what I'm going to do is define the shape. Notice that it keeps the proportion of the image proper. So I can just select the type of the area, the size that I want, and it keeps the proportions of the image proper. I can add text by dragging a text box. I can increase the size to actually make it a little larger than that. And I can change the color if I wanted to. Take the direct selection tool, move this over here, go back to the text tool, and if I just selected that word there, I can change the color to paper. I can change the I have to change the font to Arial or something bold. So now we created contrast between the word this and the background, because if it was black, it would just blend right in. So we have contrast in color between the white type and the image, and then the black text over here. That's one example of a design. We can take the Illustrator documents or the Photoshop documents and place them in InDesign as our layout program. And from here we can create ebooks, we can create publications and posters, newsletters, and so forth. We have Photoshop as our raster image program. Illustrator is our vector-based program. And InDesign is the layout program that combines the Photoshop and Illustrator documents together with text and graphic elements to create our graphic design document.